and we are going to be learning about the bones today in 4th grade. Let me take roll call. Luciana.
Present.
Nicole.
Hello.
Okay guys, so today we are going to be learning about the skeletal system. Can anybody tell me anything about the skeletal system already? We have a full class, okay. They're hard. Watch. Luciana, what can you tell us about the skeletal system?
We have lots of ribs.
Okay. Alright kids, that was great. But we're going to start with the top of the head, which is known as the skull. Can everyone touch their head? Parietal ridge, the occipital bone, the temporal, the mandible, the maxillary, the lacrimal, the zygomatic, the xiphoid, and the frontal.
Oh, Miss Pagoulatos, that's a lot of bones.
We're going to start learning about the occipital bone. That bone, if you feel the back of your head, comes straight out from here. It is the bone that's protruding from the base of your skull. Yes, Nicole?
What does it mean to protrude?
Well, protruding means sticking out from the back of your head. Let's feel it together. Feel the back of your head and see if you can feel that bone that is sticking out.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
I
Luciana.
feel it.
Thank God. Let's move to the parietal ridge. The parietal ridge is the top part of your head. It is the... What? It's the highest point of your head.
This?
Yes.
The parietal?
Correct.
Where my ponytail starts.
Correct.
Got it.
Can anyone tell me where the frontal part of their head would be?
Right here. Your forehead.
Very nice. Yes, the frontal part of the head is located right by your forehead. That's what we call the frontal part of your head. So, now let's move on to the mandible. Can anyone tell me another name for your mandible? Nicole.
Jaw.
And where is your jaw? Can you show me on your face?
Can
Very
I also
nice.
show you on Luciana's face?
Sure.
It's right here.
Very. Okay. This right here is the lacrimal. It is the smallest part in your face right here, and it is as big as your fingernail. Alright, so your zygomatic bone, which is right here, the yellow, forms your entire cheekbone, and it pulls the whole face into place. Without it, our face would look very droopy. The maxilla bone is the other part of the mandible. So without it, we would not be able to hold the top part of our teeth. So it's just the other part of our jaw, and it also connects to our nose. Now that we have gone over the entire skull, does anyone have any questions about it? So we are going to now move on to our torso, which includes our ribs, our spine, our arms, and our hands. Does anyone have any questions before we begin?
Luciana.
How did all the bones stay together?
Well, Luciana, the bones are all held together by muscles in the blue, nerves, and our tendons that are in our body. And ligaments. We have 13 vertebrae that make up our spine, and we have 24 ribs that would make up our rib cage. Okay. Altogether, we have 300 bones in the human body. In our body, we have something called our rib cage. And our rib cage holds all major organs in check. So that would be our lungs and our heart that are inside of here. And all right, in our ribs, we have our true ribs and we have our false ribs. Our clavicle and our floating ribs. Can anybody tell me what true ribs are? Nicole.
The ones that tell you the truth and nothing but the truth.
So help me.
Close, Nicole, but not quite. Let's find out. So, our true ribs, you can tell that our true ribs are connected right to the sternum. See on this side, they're connected right to them. But as we get down to our false ribs, they slowly come detached. Can anybody tell me another name for a clavicle? We're all gonna yell it out on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Collarbone!
Miss Pagoulatos, you know that there's discs in the spine?
Alright. Yeah, Luciana, I did know that there's discs in the spine. Can you tell me what they are used for?
It's cartilage in between your spine so your bones don't smash together.
That's correct, Lucy. They're located right in between each one of our vertebrae so that we do not have our spine clashing together. Very good. Arm. Has anyone ever broken a bone in their arm?
I broke my ulna.
Our arm is made up of our scapula, our humerus, our ulna, our radius, our proximal radiocarpal, our humor cranial, and a humor ulnar is known as our shoulder blade. It is the bone that connects directly to the sternum. So if we put the arm where it is on your body, it would be right here, and then it would connect directly to the sternum. Humerus. Our humerus is the long bone in the upper arm at the elbow, connects directly to the ulna. We can see it right there. It's connecting to the ulna, but there's a little space between the radius.
I have a fun fact.
Yes, Nicole?
Did you know that the humor ulnar is also known as your funny bone? Do you want
Radius is one of the two bones that is in our forearm. We have the radius and we have the ulna, kind of like Lucy told us that she broke her ulna. Okay, we have the humor radial, which is right there. This is the head of the radius and the capitulum of the humerus. So it closes off between our radius, our ulna, and our humerus. Good morning, Nicole. So we have the hand. Does anybody know any bones in the hand? How many bones do you think are in the hand? Sienna.
46.
Well, that's a great guess. But
I
sadly,
have
you're
a guess
mistaken.
too.
Nicole,
12?
also a good guess. Our fingers, we have 5 fingers on each hand, obviously. They have a different name besides fingers. When we're learning about the bones, we call them something else. Does anybody know what they are? Yes, Nicole.
Phalanges.
How did you know that?
I watched SpongeBob and he was counting his phalanges on one episode.
Start with the wrist. So, in our wrist, we have a bone called the triquetrum, which is a part of the carpus. And there's 8 parts, 8 bones in the wrist. Ready? Did you get all of that? Okay, cool. A pisiform is a carpal bone situated where the palm meets the outer edge of the wrist. And it is right there. So, the way that your hand will connect to your arm is through your ulna and your radius. Right there. So it would be down here, if I had room to draw. Moving on to the lower part of our body, we have our pelvis and our legs. Can anybody tell me about the pelvis or the legs? Lucy?
The leg bones are the longest bones in your body.
The femur. The femur is also known as the thigh bone. Very nice. It is the longest and the largest bone in the body. Nice job, Luce. At its top, it helps create the ball and the socket to connect to the hip. And at the end, it creates the kneecap, also known as the patella. Moving to the patella is also known as the kneecap and is at the center of the knee, this circle right here and right here. It aids in knee extension and protects the joint as the knee bends. The patella slides along a groove in the femur. This is the fibula and the tibia. The fibula is next to the tibia. It is the thinner, weaker bone of the leg and is the most commonly broke in the body. Or in the lower part of the body. Okay. The tibia is the second largest bone to the femur. Also known as the shin bone. This long bone connects to the knee at one end and to the ankle at the other. We have our calcaneus, which is the largest bone in the foot. It's known as our heel. We have the talus, creates the lower portion of the ankle joint, which would be right above our heel. The cuboid sits on the outside of the foot near the 5th phalange, which is our little toe. And the cuneiforms, those are 3 small bones, and they are closest to the 5 metatarsal bones. They sit in a row beginning on the inside of the foot and at the end of the cuboid. So the inside of the foot, right here. The iliac fossa, which is a shallow depression located on the internal surface of the upper ilium. Yeah. We have our coccyx, which is also known as our tailbone. It is a small triangular bone resembling a small tail located at the end of our spine. When we are in utero, did you guys know that you have tails?
Yeah.
What?
That's where they would be, on your coccyx or your
It's your
tailbone.
tailbone.
Sacrum is a shield shaped bony muscle that is located at the base of the lumbar vertebrae. So this would be our lumbar, and if we put it together with our spine, it would be right at the end. All right, guys, now we're going to take our test. I will give you a few minutes to answer your questions.
Not copying you, you're not even smart.
All right, we're ready to go over it?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. Number 1, how many bones are in the body?
300.
Very good. How many ribs do we have?
24.
Very nice. What bones make up the leg?
Femur, tibia,
fibia,
fibula.
patella.
Patella.
Ooh.
Okay, moving on. What is another name for toes and fingers?
Phalanges.
Phalanges.
Very good. What is the jaw bone known as?
Mandible.
Okay, anyways. What is the purpose of the ribs?
To
To
keep
hold the
organs
heart.
in place.
Very good. What bone is in the forearm?
Ulnar.
Ulna and radius.
Is it an ulnar?
It's ulna and
Oh,
radius.
I can see it right there. Ulna. I had the right idea.
And the radius. Yes.
And the radius.
Okay. Where is the occipital bone located?
Back of head, it
Yeah.
protrudes.
School.
Well, you pointed to something
In
different.
your school.
Okay.
Back of your head, it protrudes.
No, she pointed to this.
Well, I just meant your school. in
Okay.
general.
That's
How
your
many
phone.
vertebrae make up the spine?
13.
13.
Very nice. Name one bone in your pelvis.
Coccyx.
Socratic joint.
Good job,
Coccyx.
Lucy. Awesome. All right, class, thank you for coming to my skeleton class. We're going to go to lunch now, and here is the lunch menu.
Bosco, stay! Yes! Bosco sticks!
Just to recap, our skull is made up of our parietal bone, our occipital bone, our temporal bone, our frontal bone, xiphoid bone, lacrimal bone, nasal bone, zygomatic, maxilla, and the mandible. In our torso, it is made up of our clavicle, our scapula, our vertebrae, which is located in our spine, our ribs, which include the false ribs, true ribs, and the floating ribs. In our arm, we have our clavicle, our head of the humerus itself, the radius, and the ulna, which make up the forearm. Going to the hand, we have our phalanges, which are better known as the fingers, the metacarpus, the carpus, the radius, and the ulna, which connect to the arm. Going to our leg, we have the femur, the patella, the tibia, and the fibia. The femur being the thigh bone and the longest bone in the body, the patella being the kneecap, the tibia and the fibia making up the shin of the leg.